my name is Emily Espiritu. I'm going to be the pharmacy technician instructor. Anybody knows what is a pharmacy technician? Anybody here knows what is a pharmacy technician? They help the pharmacist, they work under the supervision of a licensed pharmacist. So for example, I have this packet for you guys, a pharmacy technician. So all the students that complete the program will be state licensed pharmacy technician. That means you are registered pharmacy technician, state of California. After you guys pass the board, which is this one, I'm going to go over the board of pharmacy website to you guys. A lot of students, they think of pharmacy as, a lot of people, they only see pharmacy technician as the one that is working in a retail pharmacy. A lot of people, they only think like, oh, I'm a pharmacy technician, I'm going to be working in a retail pharmacy. But if you have to think about it, the first thing that you have to get is your licensed pharmacy technician. If you have it here, under here, you have two types of pharmacy. You have a retail pharmacy, which is the outpatient pharmacy, and you have the institutional pharmacy, which is the hospital pharmacy. So here, how many of you guys are good people, working with people, customer service? What is your name? Veronica? What interests you about the pharmacy technician program? What's your name? London. What interests you about the pharmacy technician program? Why do you want to become a pharmacy technician?
Actually, it's a career change, and planning to move to Canada and continue on pharmacy there.
Do you know anybody that, do you guys know anybody that works in the pharmacy? And how do they like the job?
My sister-in-law, she works in the pharmacy. Well, for her, it's a little hard because she does pretty much everything. She's a pharmacist and a physician. So
Does she work in an outpatient pharmacy or a hospital?
That's outpatient.
Outpatient pharmacy. If you're working in an outpatient pharmacy, those are the pharmacy technicians that deals with patients, customers. So they're the one that goes, drop off your prescriptions, you fill your prescription. But one thing is for sure, you have to make sure you fill the prescription. You don't want to overfill the patient. Good morning. Pharmacy, how many prescriptions do you guys need to fill in one day? Let's just say, for example, Kaiser. More than 100. Give me a number. 500. At least 500 in one day. And that's not a busy day. 500 prescriptions in one day. And you have to think about it, in every floor, there is a pharmacy. In every floor, there is a pharmacy. And how many technicians do they have in one pharmacy? They have and you cannot work in pharmacy without your license. And how do you guys apply for your license? You have to finish the pharmacy technician program. This is the licensing part for the pharmacy. And like what I put here, so as a pharmacy technician, you have to be a licensed pharmacy technician in California in order to work in the pharmacy. Without your license, you cannot work in the pharmacy. How do you guys get your license? Enrolling the program. You have to have a high school diploma or GED. You cannot have no felony. here at Kaiser and I want to go to Washington and they have a Kaiser, I can just move there. But you have to be certified pharmacist. If you want to work for the state and the county hospitals, you have to be certified pharmacist. Because in your certified pharmacy technician, you're telling your pharmacist that you're not going to have any medication errors. And that's a big plus for them. Because remember, you're working under a supervision of a pharmacist. So if you have a medication error, who's liable for it? The pharmacist. If anything goes wrong, it's not the pharmacy technician, it's the pharmacist. Pharmacists are doctors. So you're working under the supervision of the doctor or pharmacist. So the only thing that they're doing is checking your work. Your dispensing medication, billing prescriptions, and the one thing that they're doing is checking your work. Questions so far on this one? What you have to do is, once you have your license as a state registered pharmacy technician, they will send you a package on how to register of the pharmacy. And one thing that you have to do is, it's $130 and it's 130 questions. Now, so let's think about like $1 per question. You have to get 86% on this list. If you pass, it's the same day. You get your license the same day. But you have to have your state license. You have to have your state license first and then your certificate. Because you cannot work in California without a state license. But you have to know where you want to do your license, or where do you see yourself working. And the program is developed, like every week, is a different type of pharmacy setting. It goes by fast, and you learn as much as you can, but it's really interesting. And all this other stuff, you have to think about like learning a new language, because you have to know the Germans. You have to know the first name, the brand name of the drug, and the generic name of the drug. It's like their first name and their last name. You cannot be working in the pharmacy and a doctor asks you, what is Motrin? So there's always a process. What are the benefits of working in the pharmacy? Your sister, what is the benefit of working in the pharmacy? Like I never asked her. That's right, you know medications. Remember, doctors, they don't know about medications. They know about your symptoms, they know about your disease. That's why they give you medication. Did it work? If it didn't work, go back to your doctor. Pharmacy knows more about medications than doctors. That's why pharmacy technicians, they learn more about medications. That's why it's pharmacy, pharmacology, studying drugs. What are the things you're going to learn in the class? You're going to learn how to decipher the medication, dispense a medication, compound a medication. If a patient saying, we don't want a tablet, we want a capsule, you have to be able to provide that information for you. You cannot say like, oh, we don't have a tablet. You have to make sure that you have a capsule as well. Or if they say, we don't have appointments, we want a cream, then you have to be able to provide that for you. And in the class, we're going to be learning that as well. It's a hands-on class. You're going to be learning like how to dispense different types of medication for adults. Kids, if a kid wants a elixir or a syrup or a suspension, you have to be able to provide it for them. Do you think the class will be hard? All about dispensing, all about dispensing. How many of you guys are pretty good with that? A lot of people, they don't want to take pharmacy because like, oh, it's a lot of manpower issues. But it's all about dispensing. If you have a $20 and they want $10 vacation, how many of those will you give them? All the time. It's all about dispensing. And checking your work. The good thing about working as a pharmacy technician, somebody else is checking your work. You dispense the medication and the pharmacist check your work before it goes out to the patient or to the nurse. You never counsel or consult, you never say the side effects of the medication to a patient, it's the pharmacist. Any questions, you report them to the pharmacist. But you try to help them as much as you can. You're not just saying like, oh, no. Take care of it. Questions so far? Remember, you have to be a licensed pharmacy technician in order to work in your pharmacy. And you have different types of pharmacies. You also have compounding pharmacy. It's not listed here. Compounding pharmacy is a type of pharmacy that anything it has to be compounded because it's a specialty pharmacy. Those are the ones that they have to make certain medications. Like if you work in a hospital, if you work in a retail pharmacy, if you don't have the drug, what do you tell the patient? We're going to order it or go to another retail pharmacy. In a hospital pharmacy, if you don't have the drug, what do you tell the nurse? You cannot tell the nurse, transfer the patient to another hospital. You cannot do that. You have to compound the medication. Compound means, how many of you guys like baking or cooking? Sure. Compounding means your specific pharmacy ingredients that they have to make certain medication to come up with the medication that they want. And you're going to find pharmacy very interesting. It's a job that is never, you cannot say like, oh, it's a boring job. We're going to learn compounding. And I said like, oh, it's all like doing the whole thing. There's always something new and there's always new medications. Good morning.
Is this a medication for pharmacy?
Yes. That's a good question. For example, at Kaiser, they have so many pharmacy divisions. How many of you guys see the Kaiser pharmacy? How many of you guys see that they have a long table? So what they do is each pharmacy technician has their own job responsibility. So for example, my job responsibility is I get the prescription, I enter the computer. Once it's done, somebody else is going to fill that prescription. Once it's done, somebody else is going to fill that prescription. Once it's done, somebody else will fill that prescription. That's why they have that long table and driver. And then at the end, there's a pharmacist. That's why they don't have any medication error. And one good thing that they're doing at Kaiser is the doctor is the one putting the information into the system. So you go visit your doctor, the doctor said, oh, you need vitamin, type the prescription in the computer, and then that label will print in the pharmacy. Questions so far? You cannot work in a pharmacy without the state license. This one is a short program, so for example, what is your name? Andy? So Andy, December comes, you're going to say, my name is Andy, and you're, what do you do? I'm a pharmacy technician. If you start the class, so December, you're going to say like, oh, my name is so-and-so, and I'm a pharmacy technician. The good thing about working in a pharmacy is a job that you cannot say that there's no opportunity because pharmacy is, if you can see here. And pharmacy is a job you cannot say like, oh, I can't find a job. How many pharmacies around your area? I've been teaching for 12 years now. I've been in the pharmacy for 16 years now. And I always tell the students, you cannot find a job when there's a pharmacy on every street around your area. The only thing that you have to do is just walk and drop off recipes. If you don't want to do retail pharmacy, then you can do closed store pharmacy. Closed store pharmacy is harder to find, but there are closed store pharmacy. And every week that you're going to be in class, that's where we're learning. You're going to be learning like what type of pharmacy that you can apply for. We also go pharmacy tour, where we're going to go to the pharmacy and you guys will see like how they compound medications. You guys are so quiet. I don't know why. I don't decide. So much information. Why pharmacy technician? Why you want to become a pharmacy technician?
To increase my rates, because my rate is a minimum rate is also down.
And that's a good thing about working in a pharmacy. You cannot say like, oh, I started this and this for like 10 years and I'm still the same thing. The more you want to do in the pharmacy, if the pharmacy sees that the more you want to increase, like, better for you guys. You cannot say like, oh, it's a job that you're going to stay there for, the rate is going to be the same pay. For example, people in the retail manager, they have to be a pharmacy technician because they have to be able to manage the store and the pharmacy. So if you go to those stores and they're going to say managers, those are pharmacy technicians as well. Because you cannot say I'm a retail manager, but you cannot manage the pharmacy. You have to be able to manage it. And those retailers, they don't make profits, like what I said, they don't make profit just by them selling their stuff. They make profit because of the pharmacy.
So how much is the average salary of a pharmacy?
It depends. Because you can go, like if you start in a retail, it depends when you start in a hospital. If you start in a hospital, it depends when you start in a closed door pharmacy. And you're going to learn that when you're in class. That's why I always tell the students, you have to know, you have to network. And there's different network websites that you can go into. You can put your profile, not Facebook. You can put your profile and then you can see all pharmacists and pharmacy technicians. And you can do that as a pharmacist. And fill that description. Once it's done, somebody else can fill that description. Once it's done, somebody else will fill that description. That's why they have that long table at Kaiser. And then at the end, it's a pharmacist. That's why they don't have any medication error. And one good thing that they're doing at Kaiser is the doctor is the one putting the information into the system. So you go visit your doctor, the doctor said, oh, you need vitamin, type the prescription in the computer, and then that label will print in the pharmacy. Questions so far? Remember, you cannot work in a pharmacy without the state license. This one is a short program, so for example, what is your name? Andy? Andy? So Andy, December comes, you're going to say, my name is graduate, then what do you do? I'm a pharmacy technician. If you start the class, so somebody can say like, oh, my name's so-and-so, I'm a pharmacy technician. The good thing about working in a pharmacy is a job that you cannot say that there's no opportunity, because pharmacy is, you can see here. And pharmacy is a job you cannot say like, oh, I cannot find a job. How many pharmacy around your area? I've been teaching for 12 years now. I've been in the pharmacy for 16 years. And I always tell the students, you cannot tell me that you cannot find a job when there's a pharmacy on every street around your area. The only thing that you have to do is just walk and drop off resume. If you don't want to do retail pharmacy, then you can do closed store pharmacy. Closed store pharmacy is harder to find, but there are closed store pharmacy. And every week that you're going to be in class, that's where we're learning. You're going to be learning like what type of pharmacy that you can apply for. We also go pharmacy tour, where we're going to go to the pharmacy and you guys will see like how they compound medications. Because it's so quiet. I don't know why. On Saturday. So much information. Why pharmacy technician? Why you want to become a pharmacy technician?
To increase my rates, because my rate is very, it's a maximum, my rate is not enough.
And that's a good thing about working in a pharmacy. You cannot say like, oh, I started this and this for like 10 years and I'm still the same thing. The more you want to do in the pharmacy, if the pharmacists see that the more you want to increase, like, better for you guys. You cannot say like, oh, it's a job that you're going to stay there for, the rate is going to be the same pay. For example, people in a retail pharmacy manager, they have to be a pharmacy technician because they have to be able to manage the store and the pharmacy. So if you go to those stores and they're going to say managers, those are pharmacy technicians as well. Because you cannot say I'm a retail manager, but I cannot manage the pharmacy. You have to be able to manage it. And those retails, they don't make profits, like what I said, they don't make profit just by them selling their stuff. They make profit because of the pharmacy.
So how much is the average salary of a pharmacy technician?
It depends. Because you can go, like if you start in a retail, it depends when you start in a hospital. If you start in a hospital, it depends when you start in a closed door pharmacy. And you're going to learn that when you're in class. That's why I always tell the students, you have to know, you have to network. And there's different network websites that you can go into. You can put your profile, not Facebook. You can put your profile and then you can see all pharmacists and pharmacy technicians. And you can do that as a pharmacy technician student. And one good thing also about working in the pharmacy is benefits. Insurance benefits. Insurance is not expensive because of the medical equipment. It's expensive because of medication. Because of the medication itself. And those are the things you're going to know when you enroll in the class, because we're going to be learning about billing, pricing, cost, profit, market. Sometimes we get the medication for $5 instead of $20. You know. Those are different prices. But those are the things you're going to learn. And medications are expensive because of medication. You can also work for manufacturing companies if you prefer to. Anything that has to do with medication, you have to be a pharmacy.
I know she has some of the schools, and they will tell you that, like, this way, we add other things that, you know, we like more what having which is needed to know. So what's the difference between like here or like private college?
Those are vocational schools. We also follow the same curriculum as the ASHP standards. So it's the same curriculum.
Right.
It's the same.
Like, for example, they were telling me something about like, we're going to teach you this and also we're going to teach you like highways.
But remember, when you call those vocational schools, you're not talking to the pharmacy technician instructors. Or pharmacy technician, you're talking to admission students.
Right.
So they might give you more information than what is already in class.
You would say that they probably, because like I said, whatever it is for you to get your certification, it's okay, right? Like I don't need that other stuff that would charge you, you know what I'm saying? So you don't like that's what I want to know, like how come you do that
But we follow the same curriculum as the ASHP standards. For you guys to be able to apply for the license, we have to follow the ASHP.
I was pretty sure that it's like also if you can be able to, like, what's the program, you can be able to, that's my concern.
The certification ones?
Yeah.
The ones,
Yeah.
it says 7, plus you have to do extension.
Will somebody say where or where information?
We can help you with that. And we do, I usually do that with the student on their fourth month.
It's like a whole thing outside, right?
8 hours. You have to complete 120 hours of extension.
No, I'm talking about before that.
Yes. And so it's really the same for working adults. Like for example, in the hospital where I'm working at, we already have a class like for people that wants to become a nurse. So pharmacy technicians, surgical tech, they can take that class. And that's only like once a week compared to the ones that they have to like no, this the hospital.
Well, I'm already searching the internet for job for pharmacy technician. I saw most jobs require experience at least 2 years. How can I start without this experience?
That's a good question. Because once you're PTCB certified, that's 1 year. That's 1 year for the experience.
For this class, it's just one.
No, and last year if you're certified pharmacy.
Now, what about the difference between the international certificate you have to take and the license? That's the same?
The license is only here in California. The state licensing is here in California. The certification is everywhere in the United States.
But if you don't plan on doing it,
If you're not planning, you don't have to take the certification.
Just the license is
Yes. So if you want to stay here, the only thing that you need is the state law.
But it's a plus.
Yes, of course. Because that tells when you're applying for a job, it tells them you're not going to have any vacation area because that has this $130 question. Yes.
and this does prepare me to apply to this class.
Yes. You need to be state California registered first.
You know how much it costs for the license to apply for it?
It's $130. It's $130. No, this is this one's for
you can take your time.
you can take.
Like,
Yes. So for example, if you get your license this year, you can wait like 5 years to take it. But once you register, they will give you a listing of all the schools that you can take the test. But the first thing is first, you have to get your state of California registration. They're trying to push that students way back because they want to make sure, pharmacy technician, they want to increase the pay. So in order for them to do that, they want to say like, look, all pharmacy technicians are certified pharmacy technicians. That's why some of the retailers are doing that now. For example, if you work for CVS or Walgreens, they're paying for their pharmacy technician to take the certification exam. So if you work for them, after 6 months, they tell you, hey, you have to take the certification exam.
So you're working more helpful.
Yes, they will help you with that process. And the certification exam is like taking an EMD test. How many of you guys, how much time do you have to take an EMD test? It's like saying, it's like step by step. It's like step by step.
And you recommend to take both or the license?
I would say do one step at a time. Get your state license and then worry about certification. Get your experience, then take the certification. Because sometimes some people, they're very good with hands-on. So, and sometimes some people are very good with the reading part. So it really depends on them. And that's why in class, I usually teach you guys the hands-on skill with the pharmacology aspect of it. The state is once you guys enroll in the program, finish and complete all hours of resolution. It's good you have to renew it every 2 years. It's always expired. It's always expired the day of your birthday. It's like renewing your driver's license. And it's always on the day of your birthday. So you cannot say like, oh, I forgot the day of your birthday. If you call the board of pharmacy, they're going to tell you it's the day of your birthday. That's why they do it. And then everybody else, once you have your license, you can have access to this one as well. So once you're done with the class, you're going to apply for your license, and then once you have your license, you're going to apply for it. Certification is good. Yes, of course. And of course, it depends where you're working at. If you're working in retail, if you're working in CVS, if you're working at hospital, that's a different thing. I always tell the students, that's why you have to look where you want to work at. Because if you're working for CVS, I want to do outpatient, but I want to work so that I talk to people. But I want to work in a higher pay rate than you want to do for hospital. In CVS, or you want to go to Target or Bonds. Those are higher, those are pretty good. That's why in the class, we learn those as well, because we're going to learn like how do they make their profit. The more profit they have, the better pay for pharmaceutical. The books and stuff.
How do you get use what's that?
How do we, there's a question about
First, I should introduce myself. My name is Drew Yamishi. I'm the program manager for community services here at LACC. So we're the host department on campus for this class, doing pharmacy technician. You should have some booklets if you don't have one, and you'd like one, we do that before you leave. But we host this class among several others. We do a lot of classes that are not for credits, so this is a different part of LACC, but it's still part of LACC. One of the fundamental types of instruction that community colleges do throughout the state of California. Pharmacy technician here is not a new program to us. What is new is that we are able to operate now directly through community services. Previously, we partnered with an outside school who provided the curriculum. And so I don't know if you've seen but we dropped the price more than in half as a result. Our goal as an organization here at LACC is to provide instruction for the community at a very affordable price. So I don't know if you look down the street, but we're about 1/10 of the price of what you might get at a for-profit trade school. Our goal is to put them out of business if possible and keep education where it should be, which is in the public school. That being said, it is a significant cost to you. So one of the perks that we do have for you is we do provide the books. It's 2 textbooks, I believe. So that is included in the price. $1,700 is the retail price that we have for that. Because this was a very new format for us, offering it directly through LACC, we weren't sure if we could do a payment plan. We were able to recently get approved for a payment plan where we can split the cost in half, so you can do 2 payments. The catch on that was we'll charge a $50 payment plan for that, so the total would be $1,750 split in 2 payments. So you would do $850 is your payment price, and then we charge that $50 fee, and then you can do it for 2 payments. The second payment would be due halfway through the class. That would be I think the 11th week. This is a 23-week class every Saturday, 8 hours a day, 9:30 to 5. We'll give you a break in there for lunch. But as Ms. Spiritual said, the requirements are very high, more to the point. The information is very important. This is not just painting somebody's house that you're learning to do. This is potentially saving or comparing somebody's health. So it's very important that you get the information and then you acquire those skills. So we take that very seriously here. When you get to the point of the application, I'm trying to copy the license application. This is the license application for the California Board of Pharmacy. LACC will certify that you did the hours of instruction and that you did your externship. So it would say Los Angeles City College with everything that that has to do. If you completed those hours. So attendance is very important in this class. Again, not so much because attendance is important like it was in high school just because you had to, but because the information you're learning here could lead to a very important outcome for a human being, namely their health, their well-being, possibly their life. Right? So it's an important thing to learn in any medical.
You always have to think about your expensive medication. You're expensing it to people that you know. You want them to get the wrong medication, you want them to get the wrong pills. Whenever the hospital or somebody that I know is in the hospital, I always think about like who's in the pharmacy. The only thing that I always keep on thinking, who's in the pharmacy dispensing medication.
The trick with the books is we decided to do this information session 2 weeks ahead of the beginning of the class. So if you have decided to register, let's say by Tuesday, we will go ahead and order them for you, 2 books for you. If you decide to wait after that, we'll still provide the book for you, but it may be a little bit later in coming from Thursday class. So Tuesday, between now and Tuesday, to kind of think this over. You know now, then we'll also make sure that order gets in for you with having class books on Thursday class. After Tuesday, it's hard to guarantee the shipping. If we'll have the books available for you for Thursday class. Any questions about our structure, registration, pricing?
So if we sign up online, we'll have an option to split the payment account.
Split payments are only in person, cash, money orders, or cashier's checks. And then $1,700, which is a lower rate because if you don't have that $50 payment plan fee, you can do that online. You can always do that in person too, cash. In person, you can pay however you want. We don't take personal. In person, you pay however you want. You can pay here. We have a service window in the administration building. Are you all familiar with campus? How many of you have been to campus? Okay. One of the other options, first we're going to provide is a parking pass that will be good through the end of July. So this class is over July 23rd, 26th. So you will have parking for free in the student lot, which is this structure over here, or if you want across the other side of Vermont, Monroe. Those are both LACC parking structures for students. You can park in those lots for free passing between these two buildings. You'll see all that crazy construction to your left. That's the main building where all the registration takes place. If you've ever taken a class here, that's where the business office and the admissions are for the regular classes for credit. Our office there, 112, is open from 10 to 7 p.m. on Saturdays. So Viviana's over there, and or 10 to 1, I'm sorry, on Saturdays. She'll be able to take her registration if you wanted to do that today. During the week, we're open until 7 o'clock. A lot of our students are working students. That's sort of our focus on our career training classes. You notice in the catalog, we've got a lot of medical industry classes that will help you with your career, including billing. If you want to get more in depth with that, we have a medical translation, interpretation class, all kinds of different classes. One of the ideas we're toying with is giving a discount to pharmacy tech students for other medical classes. So we ought to know that before your class is over, so we'll let you know if that's the case. This class is the longest class we do. It's 23 weeks, I think I said. So we will do this again probably in September, although I can't guarantee price points or anything for September. We play it as we go, but also those things like that. Any other questions? 1,700, what does that include? That includes 2 textbooks, parking permit for the entire duration of the class, and we will assist you with the externship and certify your hours. And if you can take a look at the California Board of Pharmacy, they have the application for your pharmacy technician license, and you should take a look at that. You will need to do a background check. Felonies are not going to work for this type of program. There's all kinds of legal situations with this type of position because the stakes again are so high. But we will also certify with the seal of Los Angeles City College that you completed your hours of instruction as required by law. So it didn't any problems. Now, late every day in class, if you miss half your classes, it's not going to be possible. We're right at the edge of what you need to be able to qualify for this. That being said, if you do every one of our classes on Saturdays with Mrs. Spiritu, and you do your 120 hours of externship, your 300 hours total of your learning process and instruction. So you're well above the 240 hours minimum that the state still requires. So we're giving you actually a little bit more than what is necessarily required. I did just look at the most recent Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's a U.S. government agency that tracks different jobs and things like that. The average starting salary for pharmacy technicians in California is about, I think they said 39,000. So what the average is. So some will be above that, some will be below that. As she said, it's going to really depend on the type of pharmacy you're in. Also the cities too. So probably LA is going to be a little bit higher than some of your more rural areas. If you went up north, you might see some higher salaries. Right here. At this time, we don't have financial assistance directly. What we do say is from time to time, folks will come to us that are receiving services or benefits from different agencies, organizations. We're always happy to show them the nature of our program. If they have questions about what we do, we're happy to do that and certify that you're doing those hours. If they then choose to give you those benefits for our class, that has been known to happen. I don't know specifically about military benefits for pharmacy technician here, especially since this is a new format that we're offering under. But it's something we're going to look into for the future, definitely. So perhaps by the end of the class, you may have some more information on that. But as of right now, I wouldn't want to steer you in the wrong direction. It is what it is as of right now. If somebody else chooses to give you benefits for this class, that's going to be on them, but we'd be happy to verify your enrollment in the class.
I don't have is there anything that's going to roll and then
That requirement is just to get your license. So as long as you can have it by the time you apply for the license, you're in good shape. Questions?
So what about the apartments?
Hang on. charge of $50.
2 weeks?
So the total would be $1,750, so you can say $50 to be paid up front. Yes. You have to take a leave of absence. It'll depend on how long it is. You know, if it's a significant percentage, it's going to be hard to do makeup. We would talk with Mrs. Spiritu about your specific situation, what you're asking of us. What we may do is we may waive or charge a lower fee. It'll depend on the number for the second time around in September. So if you sit in on a couple extra classes in September, that might be an option when you do it again. We definitely plan to offer it twice a year as a regular thing with the community services, unless the law changes dramatically or something like that. Like I said, I can't guarantee price points for September at this point, but we intend to offer this program for
What is the jump do you think for the next class?
hard to say. We jumped downwards by more than half this time around. So
So we see if we go ahead and make that much twice the cost?
My goal, like I said, is to provide the same thing other people do to make somebody else's pockets happy. We make, you know, the building over here look nice. That's what we do here at Community Services. The money we charge here goes to the instructor, it goes to our staff, and it goes to campus to help make more classes for little kids and for people who want to get a job.
So what would the requirements, would that bring the GED diploma or
So all of those requirements are in the license application form.
proving I don't have any records?
So the application is an 11-page application. It's quite a thing. So when you get close to the end, probably you want to take a look. You should take a look now, probably. There's a thing called live scan. It's fingerprinting. It's part of the background check. You would need to attach a certification or a copy of your diploma that you got, your high school diploma or your GED. You need to sign all kinds of different things like a mandatory reporter thing, which is a thing that says that in the nature of this field, if you witness child abuse, you're required to report it. Not that you just have the option to be required to report it. You can be all kinds of legal things that go on with this kind of profession because it is, again, it's a high-stakes profession. People's lives are involved with this profession. I'll make this available right now if you guys want to thumb through it, but it's really easy. Just Google the California Pharmacy Board application for pharmacy technician license. It's pretty easy to find. Again, the Bureau of Labor Statistics is where you can find the salary information. The average hourly is something like close to $19 an hour in California. Different states.
But also with the requirements for the licensing on week 10, we go over that.
But if you wait a while, you know, you might have a situation that you're not sure about, you don't want to ask about.
Yeah, pharmacy technician and then have because all the pharmacy technician state regulations, they have to follow the same curriculum. So maybe they just, what did it? Advanced
Well,
pharmacy.
like we have 300 total hours, if you include the externship, it's more than is minimally required. So, you know, different people will look at it. Maybe they don't even require it. I don't know. So, there will be some, I would have to look at that.
But with the class, we also do, that's why it's 8 hours, we do lab and lectures. And that's why, for example, during the end of the program, if you're saying like, oh, because I have to do a skill checkup based on you guys. So if somebody's gonna say like, oh, I wanna work in hospital pharmacy, but you're not really, you don't do well with syringes or needles, then I will have to say like, oh, maybe you can do this instead. Or maybe you're gonna say like, oh, I wanna work for Costco, but you don't have to work with people. You have to go for different type of pharmacy. But it's a very fast-paced program. That's why you have to be here every single Saturday. You're gonna learn us a lot, but it's very interesting as it goes, because you're gonna learn like how to prepare these different types of medications that you've never known before. And a lot of people, they only see retail, pharmacy technician, drop off prescription, count pills, but there's more to that. Because you have to prepare medications out of medication. How does that medications come up with, like, how do they make a capsule? How do they make a cream? How do they make suppositories? You're gonna learn that in the program as well.
Just Saturday, how many hours? 9?
9:30,
9:30 to 5.
What day is it going to start?
22nd.
Okay, if I don't have to teach your high school from here, can I get high school?
That's a good question. Yes, that's a good question. So for example, if you only have your diploma for high school, but you didn't go to high school here, what you have to do is you have to get an equivalency. Yeah.
So someone like me that doesn't know how to program will learn.
Yes, that's what the program is.
So basically we'll be ready to prepare to go out and field.
Yes, again, besides after you complete until July 26th, after July 26th, you're going to do extension. And that's more hands-on.
The externship, you would work in a pharmacy.
It's going to be a pharmacy
You're
setting.
welcome to find one on your own, or we would help you with that process. And then the pharmacist would oversee your activities and certify that you're doing the hours. We would verify that. So by the end of the class, we verify that you did the full 300 hours.
So how many hours?
It's
120, and then it's just over 180 hours in the classroom.
So 120 is
240 total.
no extension. That's not it.
There's no requirement for an externship. That's something that we thought was valuable, so we wanted to do that.
And the class, like what he said, this is not a new program for LACC. The class is finishing next Saturday. 4 students will be doing their externship at Kaiser.
Oh, that's really good.
Gonna give us that information. I work for the state hospital.
Actually, I don't really say that. Pharmacy technician, taking care of them and education.
That's one of the benefits about working in the pharmacy, because they do tuition reimbursement. When I used to work at Kaiser, they do tuition reimbursement, that you can go take any class, but it has to be a Bachelor of Science, and then they pay for you for tuition reimbursement. You cannot say like, oh, I take Bachelor of Arts, and then they pay for it. It has to be like with healthcare.
Do retail stores ever call you for recruitment and pharmacy technicians? I mean, do you guys ever call you for recruitment?
For our job,
Yeah.
placement, yes.
I mean, we made a point to make sure that the person who's teaching the class is somebody in the field, and that she was here today to talk to you, so that you could hear it directly from the person you're going to see for the next 20 minutes.
And the good thing about the program is like, sometimes like on some of the weeks, I also bring like guest speakers, like pharmacists that you guys can speak to. Or human resources from hospital, pharmacy, or agency, because we also have like pharmacy agency that you guys can speak to. Like I said, pharmacies do the job, you cannot say like, oh, I can't find a job in pharmacy. The only way you cannot find a job in the pharmacy is because you're just sending all your resumes online and not following up.
Isn't there a pecking order that you start with the retail place and by the time you get to a hospital, it takes a couple of years?
It really depends. Because you can say like, I just want to work in the retail, you can work in the retail side of the pharmacy. Or you can work, because the retail goes with manufacturing companies. Like those are the ones that they love to talk to people. Those are a drug rep. So if you like to travel, go around everywhere, they pay for you to talk to doctors, those are drug rep, those are manufacturing companies. But one thing about if you're going to be working with manufacturing companies, you have to have good credit. Why is that? Anybody? Because they give you a P card, purchase card. So like, they cannot just say like, oh, I'm going to give them a $10,000 credit card and we're not going to see money. You have to have a good credit. And why do they do that? Because if you're taking a doctor out to lunch, you're not going to say, let's go to Burger King or McDonald's. You want to take them somewhere nice. And those are drug rep and they're pharmacy technicians. pharmacy sales rep or pharmacy division.
So if you've ever been to your doctor and they give you your medication, the 3 little samples that they have,
They came from pharmacy.
they came from pharmacy techs.
Yes. Because you cannot be in the pharmacy without a license. So if you're a pharmacist, either a pharmacist or a pharmacy technician, you have to have a license. Same thing with the IT pharmacy technician that deals with only with computers. So if you like working with computers, but you still want to work in the pharmacy, you have an IT pharmacy technician. Because if the computer is not working in the pharmacy, how will it dispense medication? And the only thing you do is just make sure the computer is working.
But with that license, you can do all these different types of careers as a pharmacy tech. So it's not just sitting at CVS, it's not people's prescriptions, all of that's available. There's a lot of different. And then, like I said, it's something we're thinking about is giving a discount to pharmacy tech students for other medical training classes that you put in our catalog. That's probably our biggest area, just because of where we're located with all the hospitals and medical facilities around here. As career training is one of our specialties.
And you have a lot of hospitals around.
So we do a medical school now, and
That will be, I believe, on the 11th week. Yeah, so halfway through.
Like what I said earlier, pharmacy is a different language. So it's like you're learning branding, engineering from a college too. Because you can also look at the area where you're going to be working.
If you came a little later, we do have a sign-in sheet and a survey that we'd like you all to take, just so that we can, if you didn't like it, so that we can make it a little better for you. If you didn't like it, so that we can continue on with things that are good, whether you're registered or not. So please make sure you do that. And if you haven't gotten it, these are our catalogs for the community services classes that we do. Our quarter starts on the 22nd, same day as the first start of your class. So there's a lot of classes available for you. If you decided to do the pharmacy tech, it's not exactly what you're looking for. The class for pharmacy technician, we will get that. The way it works with community services is we have to wait for all the classes for credit to get their rooms adjusted first, and then we'll get the room assignment. So if and when you register, make sure that you got an accurate phone number and email address, and we'll send the room assignment as soon as we get that to you by both methods.
February 22nd.
Yes, we do not know where it will be on the 22nd, other than LA City College. It will be in a classroom here, room number for all of you, and your parking permit will allow you to get here. It could be this room, very room. It could be some other classroom somewhere. Most likely it'll be one of our standard classrooms, probably in Jefferson or the mall.
High school activity is not the program, but it's not.
Yes.
Yeah, will you get a certificate to you?
Yes, you will get a,
We'll give you an award of completion for the class, in addition to certifying on your application for the license.
And how many hours?
Yes, as long as you did those hours. Like I said, it's going to depend on how much you've missed. We probably will have the option, if it's not too much, or depending on the situation, for the next time around in September. If it is still enough, because the 300 total between the externship and the Saturday classes is more than enough. So you could miss up to 60 and still technically apply for your license. I don't know if that'd be a good idea or not. That's going to be up to Miss Spiritu to decide if she's going to put somebody out in the field that's going to be dangerous. If we definitely need those class hours, we can talk about that.
they actually have a so they only consider, that would be what we can see class, how would we get that?
You know, I not specifically when and how much you could talk to Mrs. Crick to maybe do some makeup assignments and some homework extra.
As long as not 4 weeks.
Like I said, we do not want to certify that you're a pharmacy technician, you go out there and pull something like that. You're really bad.
That'd be my license.
Never been to school, because I don't know what high school, home series, I have to do one of that.
I can help you with that once
There's agencies and organizations that'll take a look at what you have in your home country and certify that it's equivalent to 12th grade or a bachelor's degree or whatever.
So is that English, math, basics?
Yeah, they just look at the transcripts in particular and the descriptions of the classes you took and figure out, yeah, that looks roughly equivalent to math, 125 a year, and these kind of things.
Okay, according to your experience and teaching with this program, is it guaranteed to get a job, or how many persons from the students that have this program work or will more contact with you on the
What do you say guarantee when you say guarantee?
how many persons of the students that have this program work as pharmacy technician with the done?
I'm just gonna say for the ones who's finishing for this Saturday, I have 12 students so far in the class and 8 of them.
And they just finished.
They just finished. They will start externship, but during the externship, they already talked to the pharmacies in charge, to the PIC, pharmacies in charge, and they're already offered them the pharmacy clerk position while doing externship.
And all of our previous pharmacy tech classes have been on Fridays. So all the Fridays has been a heck of a hard thing for some people to spring with work. So we moved, you'll be the first class to take place on Saturday.
And for externship after the 26 weeks, also can be Saturday or?
No, that will be depending on the pharmacist in charge schedule and your schedule.
And how many hours a week?
It's 120 hours an hour.
So if you find two pharmacies that'll take you, and one says I can give you 2 hours on Tuesday only, the other says you can come anytime you want, we'll go with the second one. So you get your hours a lot quicker.
Can you start the, what was the pharmacy?
While in classes. But those hours will not be counted. But if you have a family friend that owns a pharmacy and you want to volunteer, but those hours will not be counted.
You've got to learn a certain amount with Mrs. Spiritu first, and then start to certify with her.
Is there any cases or exam at the end of the program?
You have a quiz every week. But it's because if you're in class and you're studying before class. I always tell the students you have to have at least 8 hours outside classes. Because you're not going to learn all this information like if you're taking the test like an hour before the test. You have to think about it like what he said, it's learning a new language. It's you're dispensing this medication to somebody else. You don't want to have any medication error. And you're going to say like, oh, I feel this is this.
This is probably the most technically difficult class in the community services catalog at LACC. That being said, the whole nature of every one of our classes is doing it. Whatever it is, if it's flower arranging, we're not concerned about somebody's idea of what the proper curriculum involved in flower arranging is. That's why we don't have grades or transcripts. We just want to make sure you learn the task and learn it well, whatever that may be. In this case, it is something very important for folks, as we've said several times. So the homework, the tests, all of that is not because it was told by some organization that this is required, although there are certain requirements that we do have. It's because we know that'll make it better pharmacy.
You help us how how can you get the license or from where? Or
We need to registration to pharmacies.
You name it something. Questions so far?
yeah, and then also to get the extra check to the
Yes.
pharmacist or the
And that's gonna be based on the skill checkup. That's gonna be based on the skill checkup. Like what I said earlier, you cannot say like, oh, I want to do close door pharmacy, but you don't like St. Couch. Or you don't want to do, I want to work in a retail pharmacy, but you don't want to stand. So, and those are gonna be based on the skill checkup. We're gonna be doing lab and lecture at the same time. So you're gonna familiarize yourself, like how do I dispense my medications. When you go out there to your extension, you're not gonna say like, oh, what do I do now?
and we start to apply for the license
After you complete the program.
for all.
Yes.
As time goes by, we're trying to figure out what exactly we
Yes. You're gonna figure that out, and I'm gonna figure that out. And I'm gonna help you guys. Pharmacists? Pharmacists are doctors. Pharmacists. They're the one in charge of the pharmacists. Pharmacists, they went to 8 years, 10 years of service.
After high school.
6 years.
6 years, minimum 6 to 8. They're doctor. They're doctorate of pharmacy. That's why the only thing that they do is check your work. That's why, for example, if how much is a pharmacist paying? Pharmacist. How much? $63. So for example, let's say Kaiser pharmacists, they earn like $70 an hour. So if you're a good pharmacy technician and I know I can rely on you, they will pay you a good amount of money because if you make a mistake, it's my license. And I'm the one who's going to go to jail as a pharmacy technician. And the good thing about a pharmacy technician, anything that you dispense, before you dispense it out or to anybody, pharmacists check it first. Another pharmacist check it first. And some of the pharmacy now, we have a pharmacy technician supervisor that check the work first. So you dispense the work, pharmacy technician check them, then the pharmacist check them. They want to make sure no medication error. And that's how we prevent it.
And this is a growing field. If you watch the news at all, you'll see, the baby boom generation, the folks born after World War II are starting to retire now, and that's the biggest group of people, age group, that's out there right now, except for their kids. So they're all going to start retiring and having health issues, and they're going to need those kind of services. We saw CVS just agree to stop selling tobacco. Part of the reason is because these retail chains are really making their pharmacies much more than just pharmacies. They're making them clinics and things like that.
And a lot of retail pharmacy now, they're going more about on the compounding and infusion pharmacy. So in a few months, Walgreens will have an infusion pharmacy. They will also be dispensing IVs.
So they don't have to depend on hospital health?
They will not be able to, they don't want to depend on hospital or close door pharmacy. So they have their IVs there. Like for example, Kaiser is having more IVs in the closing pharmacy. They're expanding. And like what I said earlier, if you go for a hospital, every floor, there's a pharmacy. So they will also be pharmacy.
Okay, has everybody signed in or done our questionnaire? If you haven't, please take the time to do that. Raise your hand if you need something. We have a catalog too. If you need a catalog, raise your hand and we'll get around to you. After you're done here, we can take groups of you if you're interested in registering now. If not, no pressure. Like I said, Tuesday, you can register by Tuesday. That'll guarantee you a birthday class. After that, you might have to wait a little bit longer, but we'll provide it. But if you are ready to register now, we can take you over to our window to register there. Otherwise, fill out those forms and questionnaires, raise your hand if you have more questions individually or if you need any more materials. And I think if you're already registered, you're free to go, you're ready, you're all set. We'll get you those books on the first day of class. We'll be around for questions. I'll leave my business card here too.